In this video, I get to wear my hat backwards because it's stories about us when we were cool Amish kids running from the cops. Even the one where I got pulled over 3 times within 45 minutes within like a 3-mile radius by 3 different cops. Yeah. In a minivan. Let's get into it. In a previous video, I shared what Rumspringa was about, how that works. Maybe you want to go watch that one first. Before you watch this one, I'll put a link to that in the description box below, maybe a card right here. Go watch that, come back to this one. At 16, you start partying. At 16, you're allowed to do Rumspringa, running around. You start hanging out with the youth. If you join the wild crew, you would start dressing non-Amish. You would start dressing in fashionable clothes. You would get a car if you could. I had to drive a scooter for a while before I could get somebody to sign my permits and driver's license. And then I could finally start driving a car. So every weekend, we would find out where the party is. We would try to go there. If there was no party, there was always girls sitting up. That's another video for another day, so make sure you subscribe to catch that one. Girls sitting up, what's that mean? They would turn on a light in their bedroom, and we would drive around until we saw the light in their bedroom. This would be 9, 10 o'clock at night. Everything else was dark. We knew there was girls sitting up there, and we would stop in, and we would hang out, drink beer, till we wanted to move on to the next house. We would typically, if we didn't have a driver's license, we would go with somebody else. We would find somebody to buy us alcohol. That could be a struggle sometimes if you didn't have older brothers or older friends or brothers' friends or whatever. It was not unnormal to see somebody over the age of 21 in Rumspringa to come walking out of the carryout with a 2-wheel cart stacked with cases of beer. It wasn't all going to him. It was going to a bunch of underage kids. I was recently talking to a non-Amish person who told me how they were talking to sheriffs, and the sheriff's departments were saying they have their hands full trying to stop Amish parties. And yep, I'm guessing we were their entertainment for the weekend. I don't know how much is happening now, but back in the day, there was quite a bit of drinking and driving, and which is not good. It shouldn't have happened, but it did. But the police were out there looking. They pulled people over. You went to jail. There was no, in our community in northern Indiana, there was no, Amish didn't get a break. When Amish parties happened, there was always the fear of it getting busted. When somebody said they're going to have a party, everybody would find out, and 9, 10, 11 o'clock, everybody would start rolling over to that place in the barn, in the basement, wherever, usually the parents weren't home. So you just parked in a field. They made parking for you. They oftentimes got a DJ system out. There was a couple Amish guys who invested in a DJ system. So they would get them out to set up and play in these parties. They would then send the hat around after everybody was getting drunk to donate money for their time and equipment, the DJers. And we donated greatly because we loved having the DJ system. It was always, if it was just normal party, somebody would DJ out of the back of their car, which kind of sounded like crap oftentimes. So when we heard it was a DJ party, they were usually doubly as big. But when they're doubly as big, sometimes, somehow, the cops get wind of it. Now, you have to understand there's a whole bunch of 16 to 21-year-olds there. That's probably the majority of the people who are at those parties. Because after 21, people oftentimes started getting married off. They would join the Amish church, get married, and they would no longer be at parties. So the majority of the people at these parties were from 16 to 21. And when the cops got wind of it, they would figure out what they're going to do. Stupidly, sometimes they would just pull up with 2 or 3 cop cars. And somebody would see them who's on the outside. The party was in the barn or something. And we make constant trips out to our cars to grab another cold beer. We'd take it in, we would drink it. We run back out there again, grab another one. When that was gone, take it in. And that was, the Jinko, when the Jinko jeans were the thing, it was kind of handy because you could stuff quite a few beers in your back pockets and not have to make so many trips. Some of these trips were a quarter mile long. You had to walk way out in the field somewhere where your car was parked and then way back. So Jinko jeans came in handy, although your beer kind of got warm in the summertime. But usually somebody would spot the cop, or there would be a spotlight, and somebody in the party would yell, "Cops! Cops!" As soon as that was yelled, the word would spread. Everybody bailed. Everybody who wasn't 21 bailed. Out the doors, and out back, just into the fields, into the farmers' fields, everywhere. DJ system would shut down. If they weren't 21 and drinking, they would bail. So we just have a ton of people running, and oftentimes what the cops were left over, unless they chased somebody down, they were left with a 21-year-old standing there and couldn't do a whole lot. Oftentimes they would catch a few people sleeping in their cars, or they were somewhere where they didn't see the cops coming or something. So they would catch them, but hundreds of people would just run. And I was a part of that. I ran quite a few times. It was, you heard cops, you didn't stick around. You left. Yep. Oftentimes you could hide in a neighbor's barn a mile down the road until the cops were gone. I got busted for underage drinking twice. Once, while we were cruising from place to place where girls were sitting up, we were drinking at these places. We didn't drink on the road. We had a sober driver, which was good, but we were underage, and we got pulled over for like a broken tail light or something. The cops aren't stupid. They can kind of tell when there's 2 or 3 cars following each other. These probably Amish kids going to the next place. Pull us over, and all of us underage guys got busted for drinking, which was just like a year of probation, and that's it. They took us home to our parents, knocked on our parents' doors, and our parents had to deal with it. But year of probation, and that was it. The second time I got busted was at a party. It was 15 to 20 degrees outside. We never dressed warm because those parties were inside. I had a pair of Chuck Taylor shoes on, and the party was going, and somebody yelled cops, and I was actually I was kind of hanging around with a girl, and she had to use the restroom. I can't remember how it went down, but I didn't want to leave her. I felt like that was stupid. But then I got busted. I didn't want to run either. There was no way. I would have froze to death being back in a field, 15 to 20 degrees weather, with just a jacket on, light jacket, maybe even just a sweatshirt and Chuck Taylor shoes. Yeah, that would have been miserable. So I didn't want to run at all. And I think she got away, which is good. But yeah, I got busted in that one. There was 3 of us who went to court together. There's probably 15 of us kids who got busted then. 3 of us had court dates the same day. I remember that. We knew we were in the wrong. So we sat in court. Everybody else for some reason, everybody else went before us, petty theft. Somebody got caught for stealing a candy bar, I remember. There was some other little stuff that a bunch of non-Amish, city thugs were getting busted for. And we were some of the last ones to get up there. And we took our sentence, which was probably, I think, again, was just a light probation or just a fine. I can't even remember. This was Elkhart County. Elkhart County had bigger things to deal with. And I remember walking out, I could hear the judge talk about how we were, like me and another person, we heard the judge over, he didn't know we were listening, but was talking about how respectful we were and how we were just patient and all that. So I don't know, we just we knew it was coming. We knew um, we were in the wrong, and we didn't try to weasel and lie our way out of it like everybody else was doing that day. And he just appreciated that, and I think we got a lighter sentence because of that. Like I said, probation. Like, ooh. So those were the only two times I got busted. And then I turned 21, so obviously I didn't have to run. Some of us 21, some 21-year-olds, I think I did it once, actually ran when the cop showed up just because it was fun. Like it was exciting to run, and the cops aren't catching teenagers. There's early 20-year-old people. Yeah, the only they're not chasing them down. And oftentimes, while you bail, you don't know where your friends are, the people who you came with and stuff. This was a lot of times before cell phones were popular. So you just bail, and you meet up with other people, a half mile out, and you get to know new people who you normally wouldn't have because, well, okay, hey, there's a guy running, there's a girl running, and hey, what's going on? And you start talking, you start just hanging out in the field for a couple hours while the cops sorted out at the party. Um, I remember one time my cousin had a party. They had a pond. It was in Middlebury. My cousin was a bit of a prankster. So you have this big pond party going on. A lot of people there. They had just recently dug out the muck from their pond and had piled it on the side of the pond. Just piled everything there. And so this party was going, middle of the night. My cousin who threw the party decides it would be a good idea to go up their driveway and just shine a spotlight down on the people. And he did. Somebody yells cops, and the whole crowd just goes running, most of them right through that muck pile and back into the woods. There's tons of woods there. A lot of them lost their shoes in that pile. So they were running through the woods in wet, socked feet. And when they all discovered that this was fake, they were not so happy with my cousin at all because they could never find their shoes again. So I didn't have to run. I was 21. I thought it was a bit rude of him, but also funny at the same time. One of the biggest parties bus that I was a part of, I had to run because I wasn't 21. We were we were at somebody's house about a mile from our house. They started throwing a big party. It was kind of just getting started. It was kicking up, starting to be good. And me and my buddy, my cousin, were out grabbing a cold beer, and we saw like 7 cars, same headlights, same length, everything, right following each other. They were just following each other, cruising over to where the party is, and we were like, "Dude, that's cops." So we just kind of paused there and we waited and we watched them come up to the party. Then we heard the yell. I mean, we were back in a field. We were eighth of a mile away from where the party was, and we heard the yell, "Cops!" and everybody ran, and we just took off running. So we were the first ones out into the field, out in the back country. And I didn't remember seeing him, but he said there was a cop already back there. And then, but we veered off and we went and we ran and we actually hid in somebody's barn. But and then we moved and we came up and hid in somebody's house. We were up in their bedroom watching where it was closer to the party. We started circling back to the party, and we could watch what was going on. They had a school bus there hauling everybody underage out of there. I think they busted 20, I can't remember how many people it was. But we found out that there was 25 cop cars. They had found help, and there was 25 cop cars circling that mile-ish block. So the cops were already surrounding that whole area. when they drove into. They finally got smart, drove into the party and busted it. A lot of us still got away, but a lot of people got caught. And and we were hiding in that house until early morning. It was hours. It was daylight before we finally walked home. That was one of the biggest busts I ever saw. Like it never happened that way. That was the only time I remember it happening like that. That there were so many cops so prepared with so many busts. One of the guys who was there, they busted him, they put him in handcuffs, and they took his wallet. I think they took his wallet, yes. Yeah, because, yeah. So and they put him in a cop car, the back of a cop car. Somehow, I don't know if somebody else or what, opened the cop car and he got out and ran. Because when everything was all done, we all came back, we finally came back to the party. And then in walks this guy with handcuffs, like, how do I get these off? so, so they took a hacksaw and I think just sawed him off or something. I can't remember, but I was so tired we went home. I think it wasn't until years later that kid forgot to pay for gas one time. This was obviously before prepay, but he filled up at that gas station, the BP at 5 and 20 corner. He forgot to pay and drove off. Like he wasn't a kid that would steal. He probably legit forgot. So he got pulled over and then he got busted for running from the cops with the handcuffs. That's what I heard. I don't know the details. I didn't really know him that well. So you had this ongoing battle with trying to party, hopefully not getting busted so you can party. And then the cops trying to track down where all these Amish kids are going so they can bust them and prevent drinking and driving. Or maybe they just like busting the parties. I don't know. But obviously the drinking and the driving wasn't good, and they were trying, hopefully at least trying to squelch that. Sometimes, a lot of times they would also, if the cops would bust the party, like cop car shows up, there's so many parties, there's so many people, like they can't do much. So they tell the owner, usually talk to the people who live there, the kids who live there, although their parents are oftentimes gone, and they'll tell them, hey, look, just don't let anybody leave till morning. Just don't let anybody leave. So they'll block off gates and nobody can get out until morning. That keeps all the drunk people from getting out drinking and driving, which is always a good thing. There's sleeping in the car. We did that 1,000 times. A little uncomfortable, but I mean, if you could stay awake all night, that was better. There is a sad story about that, though, because just recently, a couple months ago or a year ago, 3 Amish kids died because they were sleeping in the car and there was fumes getting into the car. They didn't crack a window, and they crashed out, and they all died because of the fumes. So that's not a good thing. Always crack a window when your car is running and you're inside for long periods of time. After I was 21, I was sick and tired of Rumspringa. I was sick and tired of this youth. I just, for so long, wanted to find a partner and settle down, get married, all that. There was this rumor going around how in LaGrange County... Are you snoring, buddy? Trippy. Trevor, wake up. Okay. Your eyes are rolling back of your head. We heard through the grapevine that the LaGrange County Sheriff's Department was going to patrol certain sections of the county per weekend. So one weekend they would choose this part, next weekend they would choose this part, next week, to try to crack down on the drinking and driving underage drinkers. And when we heard that, we were like, oh, okay, interesting. But one Saturday night, me and my cousin and, Jay Chupp, the guy who owns ENS now, super good guy. We were bored. We didn't drink that often. We didn't get drunk that often. So we were in a minivan, my minivan. we were just out driving around and listening to music. Like, we had no alcohol. We could have bought all the alcohol we wanted. We were of age. We were like in our mid-20s at that point. And so we were just out cruising around, talking. enjoying each other's company. We happened to be driving down Ship Middlebury Road 250, going west, right there where the Case House was, the cheese house. It's still there. It's just a different company. We saw a cop sitting behind the sign, and we were like, I wonder if this is their section for the weekend. So we hit the dirt road. It used to be a dirt road right after the cheese house, and we headed south towards US 20. Slowly. It was a dirt road. One of the things Amish kids used to do is they would go out and drink, party in their vehicles drinking, and cruise slowly like 5 miles an hour down dirt roads and just have fun with the friends they're with, drinking. But so we just hit 5, 10 miles an hour, just slowly cruising down the dirt road, and sure enough, he took the bait. He took the bait and he followed us. And it wasn't long before he pulled us over on that road. And he was nice. He was cool about it. He, hey, what are you guys doing? So we're just out here cruising, kind of bored, listening to music, hanging out. You guys got any beer? Or you guys have any alcohol? I'm like, no, we don't have any alcohol. And he shines, his flashlight through the windows, double check. There's no coolers or nothing. So, okay, well, you guys have a good evening. And so we kept on. He was a really, he was professional. He was a good sheriff, the deputy. And we kept heading south slowly, just cruising, no problem at all. We crossed State Road or US 20 there onto which was a tar road, but then we hit the first left going back east on a dirt road. And we just slowly cruised there. And trying to keep the van at 5 miles an hour, I had to hit the brakes periodically to just try to keep it slow. Well, sure, just so happened another cop was coming from that direction. He must have seen us driving slowly. He whips down that road, follows us, pulls us over. He was a bit grumpier. Like, what are you guys doing? We're just hanging out, listening to music. Like, you guys have any alcohol? No, shines around. Why'd you guys stop back there? I'm like, well, we didn't stop. Like, yeah, you guys stopped. I saw your brake lights. Like, no, we might have slowed down, but we didn't stop. Yeah, you guys stopped. And whatever, we didn't, but whatever. And he's like, okay, well, you guys, yeah, it was just a little suspicious, and okay, you guys, yeah, have a good evening. So we drove down there, we turned around and we came back and we crossed US 20 again. We hit that same dirt road headed towards the cheese house. And as soon as we crossed US 20, another cop, third one, different cop. These are all different deputies or police. They might have been some cities. I don't know, but he pulls us over. This guy was grumpy. I don't know if it was because of maybe it's because he called in our plates for the third time within a 45-minute period, or what. I don't know how that works, but he was not happy. What are you guys doing? Well, we're just cruising. We're just chilling. You guys have any alcohol? You guys drinking? Like, no alcohol, no drinking, just having fun. Well, you guys can't be doing this. Like, we can't be doing what? Like, we're like, yeah, you guys are driving so slow and you're suspicious and you can't be doing this. Like, oh, what are we doing wrong? Like, well, we had some people call in suspicious vehicle, and it was nothing but Amish houses on those roads. None of them called in. Amish people don't do that. They don't call in a suspicious vehicle at 12 o'clock at night. They're all sleeping, and they're used to the slow. And we didn't have any stereo system in the van or nothing, so he was lying. And I was like, and he kept saying we can't be doing this. We're doing all. Like, what are we doing wrong? I'm like, well, I'll write you a ticket. And what are you going to write me a ticket for? Well, I'll think of something. Well, go right ahead. I'll just give my lawyer a call. And just like that, his tune changed. And he was like, well, you maybe just speed up a little bit, and you guys have a good evening. Like, all right, buddy. Maybe you got embarrassed by calling us in for the third time. I don't know, but you ain't getting one over us. So that was a fun night for us. Just kind of out there teasing the cops. Probably should have stayed out of their business because they had a job out there trying to keep Amish kids under wraps. Unfortunately for them, there was nothing going on in that area that weekend. So they picked the wrong area. We were probably their only entertainment for the night. There was one other time when some Ohio kids came out and they wanted to go party. Somebody else was bringing the beer, but we were supposed to pick up ice for it. So we pull into a gas station. There was a cop there. We pull in the gas station with a pickup truck, and me and maybe another guy, we run in, we grab a couple bags of ice, and we throw it in the back of the truck, and then we head down the road. And it wasn't. Yeah, they know. they flipped their lights on in a hurry, and we got pulled over. But there's nothing. We hadn't been drinking yet. We didn't have any alcohol on us, and they were a little disappointed. They get a little grumpy when they fall flat on their face like that for some reason. But then there was always the cool ones, who showed up at the parties, and you could chat with them and bullshit with them, and they're just doing their job. I don't know how long that went. 30 minutes. My battery light's flashing, so hope you guys enjoyed that insight into our partying life. I don't condone that anymore. I didn't like it back then that much. We had a lot of fun times, but I would not encourage anybody to do that. I have an Amazon affiliates link. If you buy stuff off of Amazon, you can buy it through my link. It's no extra cost to you, but it just gives me a little bit of kickback, which helps the channel, helps encourage me to keep doing videos, makes it a little bit worth my time to do so. No heat, no sweat. You don't have to do so. You can also donate to Amish Rescue Mission at amishrescuemission.org to help victims of SA and any type of abuse like that. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time. We'll see you next time. I'm CJ. This is the Amish Potato.